What is up, Tecumseh, you faultless response to the following question? Besides being America's high five, what does Michigan have to offer the world? The answer is you, Tecumseh. You make the world a better place. Welcome to the Tecumseh Bicentennial Podcast. My name is Benjamin J Nichols, but you can call me the Tempest of Hilarity, bringer of joy. In today's episode, we'll hear from Deb Burton of Burton Agency. T-Town Tales is back with a story from Tecumseh Mayor Jack Baker and a story I'm calling Facial Hair. It's awesome. You're going to love it. Two Truths and a Lie has returned, so make sure that you take part in the polling. Being an election year, consider these polls to be good practice. You're welcome, friends. Just another service I bring, just to make you smile. And now, on with the show.
So my name is Deb Burton. Deborah if I'm in trouble. But most everyone calls me Deb. I grew up in Britain, and so a lot of times people will either call me Debbie from high school. Deborah is usually more of a professional, or if I'm in trouble, because my mom will call me Deborah, and my husband will call me Deborah, and then otherwise everybody else calls me Deb.
Deb Burton owns and operates Burton Agency, LLC, right here in downtown Tecumseh. Burton Agency is an insurance agency, but in my conversation with Deb, it is so much more than that, as you will get to hear.
Before Burton Agency, I was in the dental field for over 30 years, and I absolutely loved what I did, but I have carpal tunnel and shoulder issues and everything like that, and so I needed to be able to do something that would still bring my heart and my hands together to care for people, because that's part of me. And I do have a long history with knowing insurance through my father-in-law. He used to have a Mimic insurance agency in Saline. And so just knowing what Mimic did for people and what a privilege and an honor it is to take care of people the right way, and knowing that they know they are protected is just part of who I am, making sure that they are protected in every corner of their life that I can help them with.
It has been my experience in doing these interviews so far that the people who own and operate businesses in Tecumseh tend to have a reason for doing it. Deb's story of her formative moment in establishing and running Burton Agency is quite lovely.
There is one event that happened that actually sparked me to get into insurance, and it was my own agent that I had been with since 1994. After we had moved from one location in Ypsilanti to our home here in Tecumseh, they did not bundle the home and auto like it was before. And so about almost 5 years into having that policy, the rates just kept on going up and up. And I'm like, we don't have any accidents, we don't have any tickets, our records are good, we have good credit history, everything like that. So why does it keep on going up and up? And so I had called, and even though they had told me that they review my policy once a year, they obviously did not, because upon requesting them to review the policy, they discovered that the multi-policy was not hooked up to the auto or the home. And so figured out it was about $4,000 that I had lost, overpaid for those almost 5 years. And I asked, okay, so how can we get that charge back? And they said that they couldn't. That unfortunately, that was a mistake, but I was going to be able to save from that day on. And I knew at that moment that that was how I could help people, to make sure that their hard-earned money stays in their pocket versus into the insurance company's pocket.
That is definitely formative. I'm sorry that happened. That's horrible.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But at the same time, that if that did not happen, I don't know if I would be doing this.
Yeah, well, and thus formative, which is actually kind of beautiful. So, way that, take the gray sky and turn it into silver clouds. I like that.
Right? Wow. Yeah.
Hopefully, if you have listened to the last couple episodes, you've come across Krista Valandra's interview, and will remember that the thing that inspires her is strong, independent women. And so, my friend Krista, I hope you are listening, And to everyone else, I think that you will find that Deb's response to the same question resonates very strongly with what Krista had to say. I love finding these parallels between disparate individuals in the same community who may not share any part of their lives and yet share some of the ideals and thoughts and dreams and hopes and the things that move them. I'm going to stop talking now and just let you listen.
So I would say all the main women in my life. So I have been blessed to have some of the strongest women in my life. To know them deeply, you get to know their past. And for them to be able to go through some of the trials and tribulations that they've had to go through and to come out on the other side stronger with a smile on their face. I know that just about anything that I face, it's nothing compared to what they have faced. And I know I can make it because they're in my blood. So my mom is an amazing woman. And with the childhood that she had grown up, she was always, and she is still able to always see the blessing in the trouble. My mother-in-law had very similar childhood troubles growing up, and then also into her young 20s, she was a single mom with an infant and a 2-year-old. And she still was able to make something of her life, and she ended up retiring at a very high level at GM, and she did it all on her own. My grandmothers, both of them were Rosie Rivets.
Was Rosie the Riveter a real person or simply a fiction? Well, Rosie the Riveter was an American icon during World War II. Rosie the character is a fictional symbol that represents very real women. See, during World War II, a large number of women entered the workforce in factories and in shipyards, filling gaps that were left by men who had joined the military. The idea of Rosie the Riveter began with a song of the same name released in 1942 by a group called the Four Vagabonds. It was a catchy, upbeat tune, and it celebrated and patriotized the women who were working diligently to help the war effort. In 1944, a movie was also released by the same name. But by far the best known media from this phenomenon was the iconic poster of Rosie the Riveter wearing a blue work shirt, sporting a red bandana, and flexing her arm, or rolling up her work sleeves. I've heard it both ways. Under the inspiring words, "We can do it." Rosie the Riveter was also very specifically inspired by the photo of a real young woman in 1942 working at a turret lathe. In the 90s, a woman named Geraldine Doyle came forward and said that she thought she was the woman in the photograph that inspired the poster. And rather than vet her assertions, upon her passing, the news media outlets just memorialized her as the model for the poster. However, KRC-CR-TV would later do their own investigation, and they suggested that the photo most likely shows California war worker Naomi Parker at the Naval Air Station Alameda in March of 1942, when Geraldine Doyle would have been attending high school.
And so just hearing some of the stories of their past is just amazing what they had gone through and had seen, and still through everything that so many of these women have been through, none of them were bitter. And so that to me always tells me, opening up this business, there was not one easy step. Not one step has been easy. It's been one difficult challenge after another, after another, after another, and that's for a different day. But if you don't have those struggles, if you don't have those hardships, then you can't appreciate the true blessing that you are given.
You're a liar. Liar, liar, pants on fire.
All right, you crazy kids, it's time for that super swell game, 2 truths and a lie. You're given 3 facts, 2 of them are true, 1 of them is lie. Spot the lie, vote online. We'll let you know what the answer is tomorrow.
What is the truth?
You can't handle the truth. Everybody cheer. It's time to play 2 truths and a lie. Tell me the truth.
Burton Agency provides insurance for your home, auto, umbrella, life, health, senior products. Another one is Burton Agency is owned and operated by a woman, and I'm the only person in the office. And also, I have 2 dogs that come with me every day to work.
Well, Tecumseh, let us know what you think. Which one is the lie? Is it that the Burton Agency handles all of your insurance needs, home, auto, life, etc.? Is the lie that the Burton Agency is owned and operated by a woman? Or number 3, is the Burton Agency plays host to 2 canine companions who accompany Deb to work on the daily? Let us know either at sdgcreative.net/TB podcast or on the Spotify page. Spotify. Spotify. You better eat it because pies are delicious. But go to the Spotify page for this episode and vote. Yeah, it's called a vote. I mean, it's a poll. You're going to vote. You're voting. So go vote. Let us know what you think. We will reveal the answer tomorrow. So what kind of experience can someone expect if they go to Burton Agency and talk to Deb about getting insurance?
I try to bring a different experience for the clients because nobody wants to deal with insurance. I mean, nobody wants to even think about their insurance because it costs so much. I try to take the time and educate my clients so then they understand where they are protected, why it costs what it is, and then it makes paying that amount a little bit less painful. The other thing is that with the insurance company that I work for is MEMIC, who is owned by AAA. So you get to have some of the AAA discounts and benefits, but at the MEMIC insurance price. And MEMIC was designed by teachers for teachers back in, I want to say that it was started in 1950. And since then, it's been opened up to all educational community employees, including universities, colleges, preschools, online schools, and then also teaching hospitals are open to it too. The MEMIC Foundation is part of the MEMIC insurance company, but you don't have to belong to MEMIC to be part of the MEMIC Foundation. It's free. It's open to anyone that's in the educational community, and you're able to enter for grants that are monthly grants as well as quarterly grants. And so there's been all kinds of awards given out for classroom makeovers, school makeovers. It also helps to provide the inspiration for students to create in a dynamic learning environment. The quarterly grant that we have going on right now is $1,000 to 40 schools to help kick off the 2024-25 school year. So the school can use it in any way that they would like, and 40 schools this year gets to win that.
Today's T-Town Tale comes from Tecumseh's highly esteemed mayor, Jack Baker, as he remembers a story that we're going to call facial hair.
The Bicentennial, which is a 150 years celebration. And we did that in 1974. And I was a big part of that. And I never dreamed that 50 years later, I'd be a big part of our bicentennial. I will go as far as to say this mustache that you see, Ben, was grown in 1974. And the reason it was back then, men were encouraged to grow facial hair for the sesquicentennial. And if you didn't, you were requested to go down to our local police department and buy a pass so that you didn't get a fine for not having facial hair. Yeah, true story. That's true story. Yeah, isn't that crazy?
That's amazing.
Yeah, true story.
So I have worked very hard to keep the client experience the way that I would like to have, as far as educating my clients and listening to them and hearing them and helping them to make the best decisions for their needs. I would love it if one of my sons, if not both of them, would end up coming here to work with me, because they do have that same compassion for others that I have and that my husband has. So I think that they may be able to find the same joy in providing insurance that I have.
What superpower might be most useful or helpful to you in running Burton Agency?
If I could multiply myself. It's just me, myself, and I here. So if I could even have one or two more of me to be able to get everything done, because there is not enough hours in the day. I mean, I take home work. So I'm usually working from about 7 a.m. till, sometimes some of my clients will get an email from me at 1 a.m. in the morning because I just haven't been able to be done. And on the weekends too, so yeah.
Sleep is just a luxury, huh?
Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh, I can't sleep because as soon as I lay down, I'm like thinking, oh no, I didn't respond to this person. Or, hey, this person now has this type of medical insurance. I wonder if they can get a discount on the insurance if it coordinates. I mean, I know it's unique, but I do honestly try to find a way that I can help save people money, because the more money I can save you, the hopefully longer you're going to trust me to insure you and hopefully your family that's coming in behind you.
I think it's a very reasonable and very wholesome outlook. Do you know any fun facts about the city of Tecumseh?
There is a underground tunnel. Of course, it's shut off for safety reasons, but I've always thought it would be so awesome if we could reopen it safely, but then also have it bring people from outside Tecumseh. And the other thing that I thought was kind of cool is that I believe General Custer's horse, Don Juan.
We have a rock. It's got his name on it. His name was Don Juan. One moment here and then he was gone. Still his legend lives on. General Custer's favorite horse, Don Juan.
It seems to me that hope is the optimistic surveyor of the future. We can't know what's going to happen. We can't know what's coming down the road to us, but we can hope that whatever it is, it's good. We can hope that we are ready to meet it. We can hope that we will know how to handle it, whether good or bad. And we always have those hopes that are specific. And sometimes they're for our lives, and sometimes they're for our community, and sometimes they are just for the world that we want to leave to our children. So what is Deb's hope for the future of Tecumseh?
To not change. When I tell people that are not from Tecumseh, when they ask me where my office is located, I tell them that it's located in downtown area of Tecumseh. The usual response is a smile across their face, and then they say, oh, I just love that place. I love that town. And it's because the wholesomeness of the town. I've seen a lot of little small towns downtown trying to capture what we have, but it's something that you can't capture because it's the people that are here, the people that continue to choose to open up a business in Tecumseh, that continue to work with each other to sustain what we have.
Speaking of looking down the road to our future, in 100 years, the people of Tecumseh are going to be celebrating their tricentennial, their 300-year anniversary. And so, per the usual, I did ask Deb Burton what message she might have for those people 100 years from now.
Whenever someone struggles to pronounce Tecumseh, let them.
Anybody who lives here pronounces it wrong, and that's right.
Just let them. And then either kind of giggle at them and correct what they say or congratulate them, because some of them actually do know how to pronounce Tecumseh. And then I always like to explain why we are Tecumseh and that we're named after the Shawnee Native American. Got to be proud of that.
It's not the deepest or most thought-provoking question that I've ever asked, but it's one that I like to ask. It gives you a glimpse of the inner life of that person that you would never otherwise know. And so I ask, Deb Burton, what hidden talent do you have? It's not a secret, but people probably don't know.
I can actually go into a trance with my eyes open. So when I was younger, in my teen years, I was what's called a stillness model. Like I would be like a statue on like a boat or in a display, and I would be able to have my eyes open and literally go into a trance, and people would be jumping around in front of me, waving their hands in front of my face, and I wouldn't move because I couldn't see them because I was completely like in a sleep.
And so we have reached the end of another episode of the Tecumseh Bicentennial Podcast. I got to tell you something, Tecumseh. Even though the interviews are all done and a lot of the writing is done, these podcasts are not all finished and in the can and just being released. I am working on them every day, which means that if you comment on episodes and you have questions or answers to questions or something triggers your own memory and you want to share a memory, stuff like that, please let me know. Leave a comment in the comments or contact me through any one of the social media channels that these are on, and be a part of the podcast family, and we'll just have a really good time. Remember that this is all gearing up to the July 21st WTCA radio show to take place live at the TCA at 3 p.m. on Sunday, July 21st. It is called a radio show fictionally because it's not a radio show, because it's not going to be on the radio, but it's a radio show, in format and style. It's going to be a good time, so make sure you put that on your calendar. Make sure you are commenting on the podcasts, and make sure you come back tomorrow for an interview with Rocky Roads, which, come on, that name is awesome. Of course you want to come and hear all about Rocky Roads. So I will talk to you tomorrow. Okay.